Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host, Imperial Dane. And today I have for you a 1 versus 1 in the fields of Angoville. Yes, indeed, we shall be watching two forces clash right here. And of course, what two forces shall it be? We're in the southern corner. We are seeing Sandland of the clan WMD. Where's my demo? Fighting for the Wehrmacht. Ever glorious Wehrmacht. 352nd Infantry Division. Opposing him shall be Guderian. He's nonetheless, I believe, known just as Guderian, although he's clearly fighting for the Americans, so it must be Guderian's evil twin, Hank Guderian, and not Heinz. But fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 1st Infantry Division right here in the field. In fact, let's get right down to it and see what will be happening. So far, not a lot. The sort of usual Wehrmacht quarters, barracks. No, hang on a minute. Yes, indeed, we are going to see possibly the 3 or 4 engineers start. Well, that's the 4 engineers start, but so far we are only seeing 3 engineers. So, what might he be up to? Just 3 engineers start? A bit less unusual, in particular since he's not built a barracks yet. No, he is in fact going for the 4 engineer start, and he's also being pretty aggressive with the 1st engineer team. Both players also seem reporting they're a bit rusty, but it should hopefully still be pretty interesting. They're both still high-ranking players. And what are these engineers up to? Sort of bit of reconnaissance there, right, to spot anything. Engineers moving in, and they're of course denying the strategic point right there to Sandland, and which is quite unfortunate, since Sandland seems to be sort of focusing efforts towards the east instead of, perhaps the west, which could prove to be a pretty detrimental consequence to Sandland and his plans. Volksgrenadiers do arrive. Fuel point coming under there, and again he's sort of trying here, but it's going to be a bit difficult there. Also now wiring off this area. Sneaky Guderian. He is marching up on the east, and of course now we are seeing the barracks going up. We'll probably be seeing some riflemen soon. And of course the advantage of 4 engineers, any 4 ES start, of course the 4 engineers, is essentially that you can secure a lot of territory right off the bat. And of course get a lot of engineers with flamethrowers, which of course can be used for some pretty nasty flanking attempts. A bike does arrive now for Sandland to sort of try and evict these engineers, but it's not quite working out. He does secure the fuel point, but again, he can't really get anything out of it until he gets this point secured. Which is rather where things are looking a bit grim for the Wehrmacht at the moment. A pretty successful disruptive strategy by Guderian, who's in the meanwhile of course securing a lot of other territory. Although again he's not quite secured these 2 otherwise easily accessible points. Engineers are rushing in to support the 1st engineers, and there we go. The Volksgrenadiers are securing the point while under grease gun fire. The grease gun essentially an attempt by the Americans to make a sort of easy to make submachine guns, an equivalent to the German MP40. Of course they did have the Thompson submachine gun, but that was more expensive to make. And I believe also less easy to maintain. I believe there were some other things that of course make the Americans sort of consider getting a slightly easier to make submachine gun rather than just sticking with a Thompson. Engineers though continuing to secure. In fact, currently already Guderian within 3 minutes has secured most of the map, where Sandland is barely holding anything. Although he's quickly getting to work with wire of his own. Sandbags here and there. MG42 moving in to support. Schweres MG42. And Volksgrenadiers is fighting from behind this small ensconcement, or whatever you might call it. Wiring continuing off here to try and protect this fuel point. And of course any paths here. He's got not a lot of territory, of course. It's not a bad idea to sort of protect what he actually bloody well has. It's quite a bit. I mean, it's certainly not very often you see that much barbed wire. Then again, we're in fact seeing quite a lot of barbed wire, quite a lot of things going on right here, but really desperately trying to get out those Americans, and they're rather doing nicely. There's not a lot of Volksgrenadiers against them. In fact, the Volksgrenadiers are now suffering losses, and the MG42 can't really do a lot of damage to those chaps in there. And marching about here, coming under fire from the bike. Pioneers are here, but they can't really hold off against such a force, and the Volksgrenadiers in fact forced off. from this point to try and do something there. And what could he be coming up there from the Wehrmacht quarters? Possibly a sniper, possibly something else. More riflemen on the way for Guderian, who's pretty much almost gotten the entire western half of the map as well. More sandbags for Sandland. Perhaps there's a connection, perhaps there's not. And looks like Sandland is trying to do some harassment of his own. A bold move, but there's a slight detail he needs to also hold this point. Otherwise, these 2 points here will in fact be connected, meaning he still will have pretty much control of this map. Half still in connection. But looks like the riflemen are finally moving away, trying to protect this strategic point from being harassed. Bike moves in to support Volksgrenadiers, standing about, not entirely sure what they're supposed to do. And yes, indeed, a sniper has arrived. Pioneers are forced off, but not before the point is rendered neutral. Never mind, I was wrong. I seem to recall at least you could do that, but apparently I also need this point. There you go. It can be a bit hard to sort of spot where points are actually sort of, or territories are sort of connected on the strategic and tactical map. Of course, slight little detail there. But that didn't last long. Engineers were quick to reconnect that once the pioneers were evicted. Riflemen moving in, sniper slightly pulling away, and of course again, another danger of sort of focusing heavily on these is of course there's this huge gap right there where any enemy can basically waltz right into a base and do terrible, terrible things. Which is in particular nasty when you're playing the Wehrmacht, as then it's really a large gap. Since MG bunkers for the Wehrmacht in fact have the smallest arc of fire, Ally MGs have the larger one. Of course, if you're the Panzer, the flak filling can just turn about, which of course means it's not really a problem for them unless of course you place some buildings right there, which ensure that the flak fillings can't actually hit anything. But more wire for Sandland. Bleh. Tongue acting up. Not Fraps this time around. But Volkswagen is ready. They could be moving up, but Sandland does seem a bit passive, a bit timid. A bit unsure what he wants to do, perhaps. But there we go. Volkswagen is on the move. 2 MGs. 2 Volkswagen, a sniper and a bike. That's quite a lot in the first tier, which certainly could be to the advantage of Guderian, who's of course now probably going to go for an M8 or something else like a tank depot. Pioneers trying to lay down a mine, but they're getting shot up. MG42, they're preparing covering fire, and there we go. Riflemen are getting suppressed and shot up while the advance continues in the west. Riflemen and engineers in a lot of trouble. And going once more for the cutoff point. Minesweepers to lead the way just in case. Clever move. Sandland, good move. MG though gets pushed off from the west. Volksgrenadiers rush in to try and salvage the situation, and again quickly shifting about. He cannot afford to lose what little territory he has left. So things are certainly looking a bit dicey for Mr. Sandland at this stage of the fight. MG42 moving up. Point almost taken, but the MG42 could turn that around. And there we go. Rifleman getting killed and... no, not quite suppressed though. Apparently the MG is... no, there we go. Riflemen are suppressed now. Volkswagen is running away from the rifleman. On the right, Volkswagen is up in the building. They're opening up on the rifleman and sniper joining in. And there we go. A cutoff again. Thus ensuring that all of this is of little consequence currently to Guderian if he doesn't get it connected. Riflemen taking heavy losses. They are forced to retreat. But again, going for the cutoff point, and Sandland will once more be forced to make a run for it to try and once more salvage the situation. But will he be able to do so in time? And there we go, Greyhound ready, but there's absolutely nothing in anti-tank assets for Sandland, which is only going to be a problem. Engineers charging right at the bike, and sniper Volkswagen moving in. M8 moving in as well. Armored skirts on the way. Nothing else. No further munitions. And an engineer team in fact gets cut down.
Now that's better. Upgrade complete.
And Panzerfaust from the Volksgrenadiers do a bit of damage to that M8.
Where's that support? Ready for the crowd.
And the M8 continues the hunt. There's not much that can stop it except the mighty Panzerfaust, except in company views it's not quite as mighty as it could be, although I suppose it could have been the earliest of variants, which wasn't quite as powerful as the later ones. Lots of MGs right here to try and protect this fuel point, almost retaken by the Wehrmacht. make the rushes in, and is certainly going to make a mess of things.
Front unit down.
Creek barracks being swiftly erected. By pioneers, at least as swiftly as they can. Volkskrone is finally getting a move on. And the M8 probably pulling back for repairs. And a 50 caliber as well. It seems like Trieste going up here for Guderian. Hank Guderian, evil twin of Heinz. Who apparently has no idea of how to play with 4ES, but he's certainly, I'd say, considering he has almost the entire map, I'd say he's doing a pretty damn good job of it.
Now that's better.
Of course, I might be wrong.
Complete.
And no, I do not. I am at times a busy man. Mine's going up there and at the road, though, just in case, you know, to protect perhaps against an M8 attack. Not bad, not bad. But he does seem to be leaving the entire eastern half of the map now, or what remains of his territory here, with only one mine to really hold it. Perhaps an MG up here. Not entirely sure that's the best. Bike doing a bit of reconnaissance, coming under fire. Minesweepers and mines from Sandland. It's actually time to look at Sandland. No doctrine from either player at the moment. And attempting to actually lay our mines, but that got stopped by some flamethrower business. 15 kills for that sniper, though that's only going to be doing a bit of damage though to Guderian. Grenadiers ready as well. Interestingly enough, he's not going for a Pack 38. No, wait, he already has that. So never mind. I apparently managed to miss this giant gun. Always good to know. And again, a bit of harassment here against the fuel point. Rather the sort of tender nerve that Guderian can constantly pull at. Although now Grenadiers and an MG42 are being sent in to counterattack and quickly retake it. Things are certainly looking a bit grim. And the M8 still proves to be a nuisance, constantly moving at the edges in the Pack 38. Not in an ideal situation to actually deal with it. More Grenadiers on the way. And of course, see more infantry for Sandland, which is certainly going to be of help. And Grenadiers are quickly pushed away. BAR's now up for Guderian, really increasing the infantry firepower. And sounds like someone got killed, probably some pioneers, since I can't seem to locate them anymore. There's only one team, in fact. Grenadiers are going to need some further support if they're going to push through here in the east and secure that fuel point. Getting burned alive though. Sandland, what are you doing? Oh, Sandland, you got your Grenadiers killed, you silly person.
Grenadiers, pay attention.
And no medic bunker either. This could easily end up very ugly for Sandland if he's not careful. Rather than attacking Grenadiers out in the open, have to be careful. No veterancy either. Flamethrowers moving in on all sides. Sandland's positions are quickly falling apart. Although looks like an engineer team was pretty gutted right there, with the fuel tank bursting into flames in the most horrific manner. Oh no, an MG42 was cleared out. And Guderian is pretty quick to act on that, moving in to pick it up. And this is certainly not going well for Sandland at all. Not by a long shot.
Motorcycles spot here.
And what is Guderian doing? Instead, he's now getting a sniper zone to put a stop to the reign of Sniper Koenig right here. 16 kills. And meanwhile, he's also continuing the pressure on Sandland's eastern flank. And a half-track moving in, apparently on the line from some other unit. It could have been one they salvaged or picked up. And another push right here going on. Riflemen, engineers. The engineer's already running into a bit of problems, but Sandland's troops are awfully wounded. More grenadiers arriving, apparently, so that's always something. Albeit not much. And again, he does seem to have a thing with moving out and open things and not really protecting his troops. And there we go, counter sniper moving in, hoping for Sandland sniper to expose himself. Might be an idea to sort of expand the sandbags right here to sort of properly protect the grenadiers from this side line, because as you might have noticed, it's not doing an awful lot for them. And sniper actually, oh dear, that ended up nastily for Guderian sniper. Got accidentally spotted by a bike, and that was that end. That attempt rifle getting stopped by an MG on the flank there. Nice to see, nice to see. And mate moving in. Pack 38 though can't quite cover grenadiers taking losses. Rifleman getting sniped, and looks like a successful assault by false grenadiers in the east, supported by a mortar. Nice to see there, nice to see there. Some Infanteriestützung. And some combined arms, that is what we like to see. Great to see a mortar, in fact. Thus allowing Sandland to also effect some sort of breakthrough in the east. But again, some veterans would be nice, or some medic packs, or a panzer track, or something else. Apparently he's once more trying with a half track. First time did not quite work out. Guderian shifting about his forces, a bit miffed after the loss of sniper. Flaps again does seem to be shifting a bit about. And there we go, Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251. Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen. Again, the 352nd round actually equipped with us. Might have had one as a sort of command vehicle for their AA section of half tracks, which for their anti-tank unit actually. As the self-propelled unit would have had some sort of anti-tank assets, I believe, to sort of protect the moving ones. And that was pretty much, I suppose, with some exceptions, although I don't know of anyone, basically some sort of half-track, the Opel Maultier, which basically means Opel Mule, equipped with either flak Feeling or the flak 37mm. In fact, the half-track was sort of the most usual mobile AA mount for the Wehrmacht. Sort of flak panzers weren't quite as common. But grenadiers equipped with a panzer track, half-track nearby to support them. No one to man the guns, the riflemen moving forwards. Had the half-tracks been manned, it could have stopped those riflemen from charging quite as easily. Veterans who one rifle, in fact, running into problems. Mortar supporting, doing a bit of damage here, at least it would if it had hit anything. Engineers taking heavy losses, could be going down. Rifleman forced away, there we go, engineer team down. And another unit got lost for Sandland. That was the pack which got flanked by the M8. Not looking quite fortunate there. Mortar's not really managing a lot of kills. MG needs to get out of there. Volksgrenadiers reinforcing. And Panzerschreck moving in to put an end to the ailing hound. But only managed to destroy the gun, not stop the 50 caliber, which is still quite a huge problem. But the anti-tank gun gets quickly recruited. And another assault moves in from Guderian to aid the armored car, but the engineers are quickly stopped. Riflemen though continue the fight. And end up taking pretty severe losses. 23 kills on that sniper. Pretty damn good job, I might say. And the M8 finally goes down. Will Sandland scavenge the wreck for munitions or anything that can be traded for munitions? A nice question. Nothing else going on in his base though. Might be time to get some additional pioneers. Perhaps get a Sturm Armory if he has access to that. Would be a nice detail. MG getting recruited. And the American MG sort of hiding over here. Sandland finally sort of getting things turned around a bit, and we are now seeing a tank depot going up for Guderian. And I do believe we are seeing an attempt at a Sturm Armory, but apparently that wasn't good feng shui. Another position is needed. Might also be an idea to sort of either move up the mortar a bit or just, you know, move it, do something with it. I don't think that's going to do much. But a bit of quiet, Grenadiers, everything reinforced. The half-track can certainly help with that. And some Pioneers moving in here, but quickly getting stopped by Riflemen with the nasty BARs. Another bike out, actually. And there we go, sniper opening up. But Sandland sniper is still there, so there of course might be some problems. Riflemen Grenadiers fighting out on the road, though Grenadiers quickly losing this fight, since they do not have cover and the BR simply tear right through them. Mortar keeps firing, but the Riflemen are moving too fast. Things are generally moving too fast for Sandland to react. Pioneers need to get out of there. Sniper gets forced away by the bike, but will the bike make it back to friendly lines? Riflemen flanking up, but getting stopped by an MG42. Support section right there. Half-track manned by the one Pioneer. And this quickly turns ugly, as Guderian is once more forced away. He doesn't actually have quite as many units as he used to. He's lost quite a few engineers. But sadly, Sandland is not quite able to effectuate into some proper pressure now. Then he actually probably has more infantry, which is quite a shame. In fact, it also looks like Guderian has gone for armor. He's calling upon a Calliope to assist him. And that's going to be nasty indeed. There we go. The Calliope has arrived. One of the few sort of armored rocket launchers, I suppose you'd say. There are not actually a lot of tanks with this sort of idea, with a rocket launcher on top. There was a Soviet Katyusha which actually had that, a T-64, which was mortified a bit, but that was about it. Otherwise, it was sort of the Germans with it on the sides, or the Panzerwerfer, which was the half-track. But not quite well, and probably spotting out Sandland's position before he opens up with that Calliope barrage, hoping for maximum damage. And oh dear, another engineer team went down. That was in fact all of his engineers. There we go. A Calliope barrage, causing some pretty severe losses amongst the units of Sandland, leaving his lines pretty gutted.
Armored company on fast deployment.
But the Sturmarmory is up, and a Kampfkraft Center going up as well, while the remainder of Sandland's forces are getting reinforced and re-kitted for another fight. Oh, a bit quiet though. Small skirmishing in the west. Half-track getting manned again. Guns ready to blast away at some armies. And it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation, well, not exactly in Sandland's favor, as you might have noted. He needs to get this back. He needs to get the pressure onto Guderian. I mean, Guderian is a bit lacking in sort of units at the moment, but sadly it doesn't seem like Sandland is quite aware of this. He probably might be, of course, having his own issues, but he needs to somehow force a breakthrough. He needs to basically be able to sort of force Guderian to not be able to focus his forces in one spot, but sort of have to either spread them out or sort of be risking to lose the entire other half of the map. But that's currently only held by an MG. But again, there's nothing from Sandland to even sort of check and perhaps knock out that MG, perhaps using that sniper. Quite unfortunate that. Of course, now with the Sturmarmory up, even an armored car could quickly sort them up and quickly allow for a breakthrough there. But he needs that breakthrough. He needs to sort of break that point here, and then he needs to sort of force Guderian into a sort of questionable situation. Of course, the thing for Guderian on the other hand, of course, is to avoid that, keep the pressure up on here, and perhaps, you know, keep hoping that Sandland will pour infantry and other units into here, which you can then basically blast to bits. So, of course, the question is how that will go, but let's return to the fight. Rather than getting suppressed by lots of MG fire, but they're half for quick, you're getting covered with sticky bombs. MG getting sniped. Grenadiers are rushing in. Mortar rounds landing. Bike is kaput. And there we go, first armored car ready. MG getting assaulted, grenades on the grenadiers. Doesn't actually do anything, quite surprising. And the rifleman sees the MG42, but will they be able to haul away their loot? Who knows? Doesn't look like it. But it's certainly a problem for Sandland, who's just lost his other MG. And he's trying to break through the pioneers, but again, the MG42 right there has not been stopped. He hasn't even bothered mortaring that point.
We are losing a sector.
And another Calliope barrage, firing right into the base. Doing a bit of damage, but the mortar was saved by the bocage. And there we go, mortaring it, but apparently Guderian has sort of got the message. Quickly moving about that MG to avoid a mortary death. Of course, again, the mortar has been accurate, so it might still hit that MG. Apparently, it somehow keeps missing. And hitting just right next to it without actually doing any damage. But of course, also attacking with numerous infantry units, not just choosing one path, but attacking from numerous angles. M10 tank destroyer has arrived, and there we go. Grenadiers flank the MG, and it quickly runs away, though. Quite a lot of munitions being floated here by Guderian, but he's not quite managing much with it. No mines, no anything. That's a bit sad. Supplied upgrades on the way. No medic station, no medic bunker for either player. Veterancy for the armored car, and a bit for the infantry. But he certainly lacks something, perhaps, you know, deal more directly with that M10, or perhaps knocking out that Sherman Calliope. Rifleman in the east, again, not much to really effectuate a response, but there you go, the armored car moves in. From where it comes from, I do not know. Possibly the 2nd Panzer Division in this case. Grenadiers under heavy fire. They need to get out of the armored car, providing covering fire though. And no, the Grenadiers running into the building right in front of the rifleman with low health. Has to be careful. And a grenade, there we go. Oh dear, those Grenadiers aren't going to make it out of there alive.
Enemy unit down.
Quite unfortunate, half-track moving in. And again, heavy pressure on both sides. Sniper advancing, although he has to be careful. He could get counter-sniped. Except the MG stops those pioneers. The problems never seems to stop for Sandland. Again, that mortar doesn't quite get as much use as it possibly could. At least he's holding both victory points, I suppose. And another Calliope barrage. Will the sniper make it out of there alive? Just barely, it seems. He had hoped to actually get the sniper with the Calliope. Armored car though is in problems, under attack from riflemen now moving in. All the Grenadiers moving in, perhaps hoping to get that M10 with a Panzerschreck rocket. Will they get it? Yes indeed. Riflemen could also be lost.
Our supplies are in. Field repair is now available.
Or they could make it out there, only one man left. But one man with veterancy too. Will the armored car get him? Will it? No, apparently the sergeant did get away. Albeit having taken quite a bit of fire on that retreat.
A fuel point is being seized. The Axis are winning the battle. Get back in the fight. We've got new recruits. Keep it moving.
And the Sturmgeschütz has arrived for the Wehrmacht, for the 352nd. Ready to deliver something a bit more solid. Perhaps hoping to get that M10. Oh, turning about the wrong direction. Bad idea. And again, looks like Sandland is shifting towards the east. Quite interestingly, he's not... Oh wait, he is salvaging that from munitions. Good to see. Perhaps might be an idea to upgrade one of those armored cars to a Puma. And a Calliope barrage right into all of this. Troops quickly get into the half-track for safety, which is not a bad idea in fact. Sturmgeschütz is exposed, and Riflemen are quickly closing in. Armored cars are nowhere to be seen to actually support all of this. Destroyed engine. Volkswagen is being forced away. Half-track getting sticky bombed as well. M10 moving in. And there we go. Half-track is down. Stug is out of control. Grenadiers and Sniper on the run, leaving behind only the armored cars. And this is clearly not looking well for Sandland. I think that was definitely his mistake, being behind those M10s again, not upgrading. Had they at least had the guns, they could perhaps have both taken on that armored car. I mean, that tank destroyer, but sadly they were not. Instead, they are of less effective caliber. It looks like the anti-tank gun right here also got sorted out. In fact, getting stolen by the Americans. Volkswagen is suppressed, mortar firing away madly, and everything else that can be pushed in is being pushed in by Sandland in a desperate attempt. Which apparently does seem to think that he's a bit slow today. And the M10 does go out of control, right in through a wall. And kaput. This is clearly not the day for the 352nd. He has gone for terror now. He's clearly hoping for the Königstiger to save his day, his hide, his bacon. And looks like Guderian is clearly expecting some sort of armored push now, getting some anti-tank guns. Whether, of course, the German or American, he doesn't really seem to be caring, just if he can shoot up a tank. More armored cars from Sandland, though he doesn't seem heavy on the anti-tank department. Except for Panzerschrecks.
Hey, another replacement. Give us a target.
And looks like another unit died, I'm afraid.
They're losing territory.
Not quite sure what in this case, though. But looks like this might be the end of the German sniper. No, he once more makes it out there alive.
Veterans seek gain.
Quite the snipery chap.
They're losing territory.
But a quick counterattack will be necessary. Oh wait, he lost the mortar. Oh dear, that's only going to make it harder for him to deal with those anti-tank guns. And how many kills does the snipery friend has? 27 kills, that's quite a bit. Riflemen in a spot of trouble, trying to get into the house. Though they are taking some losses trying to run into it. And then they quickly decide it might be actually a good time to leave. And Guderian continuing his pressure in the west, again taking that away. American sniper reveals himself only 6 kills. German sniper quite a bit away. Sandland now putting his faith into the Nebelwerfer to see him out of this situation. While the Calliope goes for another barrage. Doing terrible things to the Volkswagen, not so much to the rest.
The way is open. We are ready to push back the Yankees.
Not sure what Sandland is up to right at the moment. He might be hoping to sort of sneak into Pantrix and do some damage to that Calliope, but he's not quite achieving much right here. 2 tank destroyers are nearby, and the Volkskriegs are not really in a good position either. In fact, now there are veterans with 3 riflemen nearby. That tends to be pretty bad. There we go, the Nebelwerfer ready. And gets off some good hits right on the MG. Even damage that anti-tank gun a bit, but not enough.
Ready for orders. Jawohl.
Perhaps Sandland decides it's time to go west again. He's very close to getting that King Tiger. And another badass churning up the ground here, hoping to get that Nebelwerfer. His only real problem, perhaps.
What are your orders?
And there we go, King Tiger can be called in. Königstiger. Come on, Sandland. Except he doesn't have the population for it. That's less good. Quite little less good. But there we go. Managed to secure a point. And the Königssieger arrives. Moving forwards for the fatherland. Nebelwerfer to provide support. And the Nebelwerfer though managed to hit not quite a lot at all. Tank destroyers do not react to this threat actually. Apparently Guderian is a bit more concerned or has forgotten about him, or perhaps feels that there's no need for them. Anti-tank gun though gets cleared up by the King Tiger. Infantry should quickly be able to follow up and retake it. Calliope barrage though moves in, doing a bit of damage to the King Tiger, to put it mildly. And there we go, the tank destroyers are arriving. But Grenadiers also moving up with the Panzerschreck. Armored car goes down. Grenadiers need to help now, before the M10s get about. And then we are seeing Allied War Machine. Out of control. Oh dear, this is only slightly more Soviet tactics. And the King Tiger takes heavy damage. Grenadiers get squished beneath the treads. MG getting flanked. Pioneers moving up to repair the venerable King Tiger. And the final M10 bites the dust, but 2 others are ready to replace them. This is not really looking good for Sandland though. He's not been doing quite well at all. Sort of always lagging behind a bit. And his final hope seems to be that King Tiger, hoping that it can turn things around for him. But already another assault going in from Sandland. Snipers moving in, 2 snipers in fact. Anti-tank gun has not been recruited. Got a bit of munitions by himself, but he's... Oh wait, there we go. Forcing away those riflemen. Stug on the way. Volkskriegs getting sniped. M10's moving in. King Tiger getting repaired. And the armored car getting shot at. First Infantry Division doing pretty well. 352nd, not quite as much. And another Calliope barrage. Sniper once more. Will he make it out of there again? Apparently so. And there we go. The M10s are once more on the move. And one immediately bites the dust though without really managing to do much. Will the second one fall as quickly? Yes, indeed. And in fact, he's trying his best not to knock it out. But no, one Panzer Grenadier actually decided to fire anyway. He was sort of hoping, again, fire on the ground, you know, not knock out that M10, which of course can get a bit silly, you know, when you're trying not to knock out a target. But that's sort of the curious thing about Wehrmacht veteranry, actually. I mean, in this case, I mean, you don't really gain anything from knocking them out, unless, of course, they have a lot of veteranry, in which case the opponent does lose something, but that's the sort of odd thing about Allied War Machine. And, oh dear, that pack quickly got sorted out by those snipers. And again, 2 tank destroyers. Sturmgeschütz still is now ready, but there's no veteranry for it. Oh, sniper's in trouble. No, he managed to weave past the rifleman. Forced retreat forces away one team, but the other one, the veterancy free one, is not stopped. Grenadiers getting sniped. And this is a pretty large problem. Mackay Barrage moves in. Sticky bomb on the Stug. And this... oh dear, managed to knock it down. Low half health. And immobilizes it. Sniper gets one sniper, but tank destroyers are quickly moving in, hoping to crush him. Oh, he managed to just avoid it, but oh, he's going to be forced to retreat. And the rifleman might... yes, indeed, the sniper is finally done off with. And now the assault moves in. Tank destroyer supported by veterancy 3 riflemen. Sticker bomb on the King Tiger. Allied War Machine once more going in. Tank destroyer bites dust. Sticky bomb actually does nothing on the King Tiger. Its armored skirt protecting the treads. Forced retreat on the veterancy 3 riflemen. Stug probably not going to make it out of there. And there we go. Anti-tank gun gets the kill. Lack of support. Point taken. Another tank destroyer out of control. Another... no, that's a Pershing. Oh, bugger. And the King Tiger is simply too damaged, I think, at this stage to actually survive a direct conflict with the Pershing. And the anti-tank gun, though, gets sorted out. And repairs going up there. Pioneers are moving in to repair the King Tiger. Grenadiers are moving in to fire off some Panzerject rockets, but Riflemen are quickly attacking, supported by Riflemen. Oh dear. Trying to recruit that anti-tank guns using against the Pershing, but instead they get stopped by Riflemen and snipers. Main gun destroyed. The King Tiger will not survive. And GG from Sandland. King Tiger down. And there we go. Game over. More or less.
Our supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supplies. We must turn the battle immediately. Losing a sector.
Bragging about how badly they did. Apparently in the last tourney. Perhaps in some sense not the most exciting game, but I had a bit of trouble actually finding one which I felt was alright, despite, you know, pulling in from game replays, those Orcs archives as well. A bit odd that, not getting a lot of replays being sent in either, and again most of those tend to be for Monday novice fights, which is alright, but again, doesn't quite make it for the rest of the week. But of course in this case, I mean, what can we learn? I mean, for engineer barracks side, I mean, that's a pretty powerful thing. The problem though for Sandland though was he sort of got a bit too passive at times, and thus sort of lacked the ability to really break through, and thus of course forced Guderian to be a bit, you know, a bit more defensive. Lack of medic bunkers probably didn't help him either. Not at all. And some lack of armor veterancy again, not quite either. I mean, the problem basically for Sandland was partially not prepared really for the sort of attrition he was exposed to. Lack of aggression to really sort of keep the pressure up on Guderian. On the other hand, Guderian was quite off well with that start, quite able to do a lot of damage to Sandland and keep him on the back foot for most of the game. So there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.